Greetings, kindred. I know this study says it's continued from January 7th, but today, in my time, it is April 2nd, 2023, which is Passover. And tonight is the night that Death Angel passed over Israel, those that had their doors and lamp posts marked with the blood of a lamb, which was symbolic of Yeshua, the Messiah. And by now you probably should have looked into discovering whether or not you may be an Israelite, and if so, you should observe the feast days. We're not just sacrifice a lamb anymore because Yeshua, the Messiah, was that sacrificial lamb, but even Christ himself observed the feast days, and we are instructed to eternally observe those feast days. So starting tomorrow would be the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So I hope you all have gotten rid of all the yeast out of your house for at least a week and eat nothing but unleavened bread to observe this very special Sabbath feast day. Okay. Let's continue with our study of the book of Ezekiel. Our Father has made a special and personal visit to the priest and the prophet Ezekiel by arriving and appearing in an awesome vehicle, a chariot of fire, which Ezekiel described in detail. However, only the final end-time generations would be able to understand what it was he wrote about. Think of this. No other generation until the 20th century had ever seen tons of highly polished spectrum metal fly up into the sky with people inside, much less fly into outer space and land on the moon. But the baby boomer generation has seen it, the generation of the fig tree, which was planted on May 15th, 1948, which is also the generation of the increased knowledge prophesied in Daniel 12. In any event, his arrival in Israel 1 certainly got Ezekiel's attention, didn't it? Come to think of it, our just writing of his arrival in his vehicle has gotten quite a bit of attention. We begin today's study where Yahweh Elohim, speaking from his throne, surrounded by the rainbow, the Shekinah glory, has told Ezekiel that he is sending him to the house of Israel, his rebellious children. And now he has laid out before Ezekiel a roll of a book, or a scroll, written within and without, meaning it is a complete book. Ezekiel 3, verse 1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll and go speak unto the house of Israel. Before you can be sent forth by him to teach the word of Yahweh, you must first eat the complete word, the entire loaf of bread. You can't just teach his words if all you have eaten are a few crumbs here and there. Ezekiel is told to eat that thou findest, and verse 10 documents that it was all of his words. You see, the word of Yahweh is spiritual food and must be eaten daily. Our daily bread, the bread of life, is the word of Yahweh. We are to eat it all. It is what Yahweh's servants do. Okay, Jeremiah ate his words. We have in Jeremiah 15:16, Thy words were found, and I did eat them, and thy word was unto me the joy and rejoicing of mine heart, for I am called by thy name, O Yahweh Elohim of hosts. Ezekiel ate them. Ezekiel 2, verse 9. When I looked, behold, a hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. Then Ezekiel 3:3, and he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then I did eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. The Apostle John ate them, Revelation 10:10. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Learning and knowing the truth of Yahweh's word is exciting and beautiful, and the taste of truth is as sweet as honey. But when you have digested that knowledge and meditated upon it, and can see the stark reality of what is happening in this world, and understand why, it can be pretty gut-wrenching, and thus is one form of bitterness. But there's another bitterness when you have eaten truth, and that is, be prepared to suffer the bitterness of persecution, as Christ would tell us. Just this.